Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sherry Lynn and I already recorded this whole video but didn't realize that it was on manual focus and I was out of focus the entire time. So here I am for a second time today, and you guys will never get to see the first time, but it's fine, I'm not salty about it. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about spinning. So if you've been following my channel for a while, you might have heard me mention very briefly a couple months back that I was becoming a certified spinning instructor. Well, that happened. It was, I think I got certified in July and started teaching in August. So it's been about 3 months now. And I'm freaking obsessed. I love spinning so much. So today I thought I would talk a little bit about kind of what spinning is, what to expect if you've never taken a class before, just some of the basics, as well as why I got into it and why I would recommend it to anyone. So I guess to start, basically what happened is, not my whole life, but for a very long time I've been just super into lifting. And so when I was in high school, I played softball and ran track. I love softball. I kind of just ran track because I felt like I was supposed to. And I had this irrational fear of getting fat. And so I felt like I had to do something. And so a sport was a logical thing and I wasn't good at anything. So track was really my only choice. And I hated it. I absolutely hated it. But I still did it all 4 years because I didn't want to get fat. Then I went to college and I was still terrified of getting fat because, when you're 99 pounds, apparently that's horrifying to gain any weight. But that's this whole separate personal problem that we can get into in another video. So basically, when I graduated high school that summer, I met my boyfriend and he was super into bodybuilding at the time. So he's like, Sherilyn, you really need to start going to the gym, if nothing else to be healthy, but you clearly have this really messed up body image that you want to fix, and starving yourself and running all the time is not going to solve it. So you should probably try strength training and actually eat and be smart. And I was like, no. And then he kind of forced me for my best interest. He really did, but kind of forced me to go to the gym, and I was so insecure that I cried and didn't talk to him for 3 days. True story. Sorry, Brennan. Shout out. But then I got over myself and he was very supportive and I kept forcing myself to go, and somewhere along the line I fell in love with it. So long story short, I've been lifting for about 5 years, and I'd say about a year ago I realized, all I do is sit at a desk all day, then I take an hour and a half and I lift after work. And besides that, I'm very sedentary and I work on the 5th floor and I have to take the elevator because every time I try to walk upstairs, I'm you would think I'm 800 pounds. So I was like, my heart is probably not as healthy as it could be, and I should probably stop being a bro and maybe incorporate a little bit of cardio, for my health. And so that's exactly what I did. As you know by now, I'm sure, I work at a gym. I'm the marketing manager for Fit Factory, which is a South Shore-based health club chain. We have locations in Kingston, Braintree, Foxborough, and North Attleboro, Massachusetts. And so being the marketing manager for a gym, I have a VIP Elite membership that comes with all of the classes and amenities. So I decided, since I have this membership, I'm not paying for it. I might be terrified of spinning, but I've always wanted to try it. Sounds like a really good time, I may as well. So one day after work, I pushed myself out of my comfort zone and I went to a spinning class, and I've never looked back. I got lucky enough that first class, I absolutely fell in love with the instructor. So shout out Allie, if you're watching this by some miracle. She was just energetic and fun and talented and just literally all around incredible. And so from that point forward, literally from that first class, I just started going every single week to Allie's class, and I got obsessed with it. So it was the highlight of my Tuesdays at 6:30. It was the highlight of my Tuesday evenings. I look forward to it. And I started bringing friends and I just started feeling good. I've done different types of fitness my whole life, but nothing gives me that endorphin high like spinning. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. But when I am on that bike, I feel freaking invincible and I feel so good afterwards. I just drip sweat and it's the freaking best. So if you've never tried it, definitely try it. If you have tried it, I think you probably know what I'm talking about because I've heard other people say the same thing. It's a very different type of endorphin high. And so anyways, long story short, I'd been taking Allie's class for about a year, and I was like, girl, like, I'm thinking about getting certified. Why am I so annoying? But I was like, I think I want to get certified. Like, should I? She was like, yes, you absolutely should. You have that personality. Like, you do great. You love it. It's one of the best things I ever did for myself. So I said, all right, there's always things that I want to do, and I never actually, like, take the scary plunge and do the thing. So I'm not going to hesitate this time. So really within a month of thinking about it, I just booked my certification class. Don't quote me on this. I believe it was $360 or $70-ish for my certification when all was said and done. I went through Mad Dog because that's kind of like, in my opinion, at least from what I found, the most recognized and respected certification out there for indoor cycling. So, plus they had a couple local certification classes. So I decided to go with Mad Dog. I paid my money and I waited, and then when the day came, I went to a local health club. I took a 9-hour class on a Sunday. I met some awesome girls, sat with a master instructor, learned all of the basics, and came home, took an exam, and I was a certified spinning instructor. Now I was a little bit lucky because working in the corporate office for a gym, I am friendly with our group fitness director, and so she had essentially told me, if you get certified, I will hire you as long as you don't absolutely suck. And so I told her, you know, I got certified, and she still did audition me. I did a video audition, and she was like, oh my god, you're so cute, like, of course. So I ended up having my own class really like a couple weeks after I got certified. And so when I found out I was getting my own class, I was automatically like, oh my god, I'm so nervous, I'm so unprepared. And so I would spend pretty much all of my free time in the cycle studio at the Braintree Club near where I work, just coming up with music and routines and like getting comfortable on that podium, which is so intimidating. And no matter how much I prepared, when I got to that first class, I was so nervous. It was a different crowd than I had expected. I ended up, you know, the club that I do teach at has an older demographic than the one that I take classes at typically. And so I was a little bit taken back, and I kind of figured out really quickly that they weren't going to be into my 90s rap music and Ja Rule and all of that good stuff. So I had to revise my playlist a little bit, but it, like anything, is a learning process. They didn't hate me. I have people that still come to my class this day that were there on my first day, and you know, I've grown my average number from 4 to 16. So you build a following and you build connections with these people, and that is really the most rewarding thing to me, as cliche as it is. Like, every time someone comes up to me and they're like, oh my god, I loved your playlist, that class was so much fun, I look forward to coming every week, like, thank you so much for that workout. Those are just the things that mean the most to me. And that, and like the endorphin high, like, I can never imagine like not teaching spinning ever again. I really can't. And now diving into, because this video is already getting long, I guess some basics about what spinning is. So you can expect different things based on where you go, and I think that's with anything. But in a health club where they specifically have the class listed as spinning, following the spinning license certified program with spinning certified instructors, Mad Dog Athletics, where I got certified, it's kind of a different animal than cycle classes. Like Fit Factory, where I teach, we do cycle, and like Soul Cycle. Those things are different than like spinning. The spinning program is very strict. It's based on cadence or speed, resistance, and 3 different positions. You're not using dumbbells, weights, you're not doing push-ups on the handlebars. It's very like, I think this is the right word, ergonomically correct and like effective, and it is the most effective way to indoor cycle. However, Soul Cycle and some other cycle programs incorporate more fun elements, because truly there's only so much you can do on a bike for an hour in front of a room of people. And so in order to make it a little bit more interesting, like Soul Cycle, for example, incorporates all these crazy dance moves almost on the bike. And so I fall somewhere in the middle. Fit Factory is not like a spinning certified facility. However, we do try to stick to the basics just because they're the most effective, lowest risk of someone getting hurt, XYZ. So I do primarily stick to classes based on resistance, cadence, the guidelines of the spinning program. However, here and there I'll throw in like push-ups on the handlebar or something tame like that, like nothing crazy. So that's kind of what my class looks like. When you get into a spinning class, if you've never seen before, or a cycle class, either one, the bikes are a little bit different than maybe an exercise bike you'd find on a weight floor in a normal gym. They have this wheel in the middle, and that's going to control your resistance. If you turn it all the way to the left, there's no resistance on that bike. You never want to be there. At about another turn back, you're at your 60%, which is your flat road. Then you turn it all the way to the right, you're at your 100%, where you can barely move those pedals. You are making your way up a hill. Get very passionate about this. Please bear with me. There's also a lever near that handle, or maybe it is that knob, and that's your brake when you push down on it to slow yourself down in a situation where you maybe get going too fast because you never want your legs spinning out of control. And then you have your handlebars. So in position one, in position one, your hands are at the bottom of those bars and your hips are back in the saddle or the seat. And you've got a slight bend in your elbows, shoulders back, chest up. I look so stupid doing this. There's no bike here. And so that's position one. Position two, kind of the same thing, but you lift your hips a couple inches out of the saddle. So position one, you're in the saddle. Position two, you're out of it, but you just lift your hips the slightest bit. And so, for example, when we're doing jumps, which is between, let's say, positions 1 and 2, it's really just lift, sit, lift, sit. It's not a huge movement at all, and that's why you can so seamlessly move between them. And then position 3 is a little different. Position 3, you bring your hands to the top of the handlebars, and you push your hips way back. So you're not like bent over the handlebars, but you have more power, you're up more, and so that's the position you're strongest in. So when you're using heavier resistances, that's typically where I like to bring my classes. So maybe we're climbing a hill, we're in the last minute, we're at 90% resistance, we're really climbing. I might tell them to surge into 3 and use that extra power to get to the top. And so we've gone through resistances, we've gone through positions, and then there's cadence or reps per minute. If you have a bike with a monitor on it, you can look at it that way. You can also count. I am lucky enough to have monitors in my classes. So when you're at those lower resistances, you can obviously move a little bit faster. So you're looking for maybe an 85 to 110 for your RPM. And basically 110 is your sprint. That's the fastest you want to move. If you get going too much faster than that or faster than that at all, you're actually losing effectiveness. So if it's too easy, add a little bit of resistance and there you go. Made it a little harder for yourself. So that's kind of the guideline. And then when you're getting to those heavier resistances, you quite obviously will not be able to move as fast. When you get to those heavier resistances, you're looking for about a 60 to an 80 RPM on that monitor. And so you try not to go slower than 60, and it's going to be tough to go any faster than that 80 when you've got a heavy resistance on your bike. Those are kind of the basics of spinning. I try to incorporate jumps, sprints, flat roads, and climbs pretty equally throughout all of my classes just to keep it interesting. Some are more climb focused, some are faster. It really depends on what we've been doing that week, that day. I do teach 2 classes a week and then also a boot camp, which is unrelated to cycle. So I have a lot of the same people come to both of my cycle classes. So I like to keep it interesting. I try never to use the same playlists. I really try not to even repeat songs. And that's kind of what you can expect. It's been with Sherry Lynn. So, I mean, if you're in the area, I'd love to have you in a class. Otherwise, I have a little bit of a sneak peek of what my classes look like. So I was trying some new things today in the studio to get my personal cardio in, and some of this is what I came up with. So check out the clips, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!